fights with passion, and he inspires.
Are you ready for a war?
All right. All right. Welcome back to From 8 Arbitration, the Saturday morning edition. I'm fixing to get ready and going to deliver my route, but I wanted to put this up real quick. I've been waiting on it for a while. This is those on the CLC slate running for National Business Agent, and you're really going to enjoy it. Some high-level individuals. I love every one of them, and I think James Henry's done a fantastic job when you talk about rooting out the status quo. I think that he's done a fantastic job of targeting those individuals that are like-minded, city letter carrier first, has shown a history of fighting for city letter carriers and putting those in positions of taking over these regions. And James has always said he's going after the status quo. You got to change the culture of the NELC. Those individuals that have spent 3 years protecting Brian Renfro rather than the city letter carrier are going to have somebody run against them. And that's why I love this slate. We've got to root it out. And so it's a cancerous thing up there where you have gotten people up there that have surrounded, kind of circled the wagons around Brian, regardless of his incompetency, and they sold their soul to him. So we're going to take their positions. And so this is going to be a good episode for you. Also, tomorrow, don't forget, Cookeville, Tennessee. 240 Carlin Drive, Cookeville, Tennessee, 1 to 4 p.m. It's the fundraiser for a Brighter Tomorrow. It's a bunch of members from the CLC are going to be there, especially Dana Chambliss, who'll be the next business agent of Region 8. And y'all need to come see her. If you've not seen her or heard from her, you need to. This woman right here is something special. She's my president of my branch. I'd put her up against anybody in the country. And I've known her for a long time. You talking about somebody that takes no shit and is a straight-up hellraiser, that's Dana Chambliss. And my region needs that right now more than at any time in our history. And that's a fact. But James will be there. I'll be there. Rob Cozier will be there. Obviously, Dana will be there. Tom Rooney, who's going to be the next business agent in Region 14. And also David Grosskopf, who always carries a hammer. He'll be there. And just to show support. But y'all make sure y'all come out tomorrow. Cookeville Community Center, 240 Carlin Drive, Cookeville, Tennessee. It's going to be from 1 to 4. All right? We'll have a fantastic time. Monday, I'll be back, and it's going to be all about safety. I may do 2 episodes Monday. Maybe just one on how we're going to protect ourselves. Just kind of those refresher things. We did it last year, and I believe the year before that. And also grieving things. A lot of people started sending me screenshots of their scanner messages or things that managers are saying. It's going to piss you off. But we're going to address that Monday. So I may have 2 episodes just back to back. May do one on just educating on how to grieve things, and another one on hydration and things like that, how to protect ourselves in this heat because it's coming on us, all right? Well, y'all have a fantastic weekend. I love you like blue. Man, we're going to turn this thing around. I'm excited. I'm getting more and more excited as the time gets closer. I cannot wait. Make sure you listen to Joshua Shroom yesterday, the Roseville Wrecking Ball. Make sure you listen to that. I was on there with him yesterday. We had a great time. That's a good guy, man. Very educated, very smart, but does his own podcast. If you've not heard of it, I'm sure you have. But Roseville Wrecking Ball. So listen to that. I had one yesterday. We had a good time. But all right, so here, I got to go get ready to go on to carry mail. But here's the NBAs on the Concern Letter Carrier slate. You're really going to enjoy this, all right? So y'all enjoy. I'll talk to y'all Monday. All right, bye.
Okay, thanks, Corey. Hi, my name is Bill Kriebel. I'm the president of Branch 254. I am the CLC candidate for National Business Agent in Region 12. Welcome to the Concerned Letter Carriers, the National Business Agent Roundtable. Tonight's discussion brings together candidates and union leaders from across the country who are running for National Business Agent positions within the NELC. The NBA position plays a critical role in protecting the daily working conditions of the letter carriers everywhere, including contract enforcement, arbitration strategy, steward trainings, and regional leadership. This conversation is about more than elections. It is about the future of representation, accountability, education, communication, and how we strengthen the union at every level. Before we begin the topics, it is important to recognize where a lot of these conversations started. Over the past several years, Wednesday night discussions have begun with the consistent platform for open discussion as the MBA's running on the CLC slate. What started as an informal conversations evolved into a forum where we discuss training and the important hot topics facing letter carriers on a daily basis. As candidates for the MBA on the CLC slate, we created this forum to become more than just the separate regions. We started this because we wanted to build something we have never truly had before. Instead of 15 separate regions, we are one union. So the Wednesday night meeting started out with myself and Richie Ray. We got together every Wednesday night because we wanted to go over our campaigns, our agendas, our mission statements, and how we wanted to tackle our campaign and what we were going to do to move forward. This eventually evolved into more of us coming onto the slate. The next one that came on was Brother Walt McGregory, and he came into it, and the same thing. We formed this bond. Walt, you would like to elaborate a little bit?
Yes, thank you so much, Brother Bill, for having me, Brother Richie. It's always great to be in the hot house. Yes, Bill, Richie, and myself, once we came together every Wednesday night, we decided to start putting out educational pieces for brothers and sisters across the country. And it seemed to take off, and it was very, very well received by letter carriers. So we continue to put information out, and it has evolved into what it is today. So we're going to continue to do stuff like that. And I'm so glad to be a part of the Hot House tonight and being on with my boy Bill Kriebel and Richie Ray and the rest of the CLC NBA candidates.
So it evolved. And next we had a Tom Rooney, we had a Dana Chambliss, Orlando Gonzalez, and Debbie Dixon, and now Alan Rios. So the goal of this roundtable tonight is simple. Give letter carriers clear insight into each candidate's vision, discuss the challenges facing the union, explore solutions and reforms, and help members make informed decisions moving forward. So let's meet the MBAs. We'll start with Tom Rooney.
Thanks, Bill. Thanks, everyone, for listening tonight. As Bill said, I'm Tom Rooney. I'm the president of Branch 34 Boston, and most importantly, candidate for Region 14 NBA, running on the CLC ticket. Presently, as president of Branch 34, I oversee about 3,600 members. I have about 58 stations, about a 16-member team, and most importantly, I have about 74 shop stewards. We average about 3,000 grievances a year, and over the past 4 years, we've had over $2 million in remedy awarded to the carriers that I represent, and we've added about 21 new routes back into Boston. My training that I have and education I have is I'm a national arbitration advocate. Still to this day, I am arguing cases. I have 4 coming up in the next month. I had the pleasure of sitting on the B team for 7 years as a backup in Northern New England, which covers Maine, Vermont, and New Hampshire. I have Providence, Rhode Island, and finished up the primary in Boston. I was a formulary representative for years. I handled probably over 400 cases. And most importantly, I was 22 years as a shop steward, my favorite one in Wallaston, Massachusetts, Wally World. Guys, I hope tonight we can answer the questions that all Region 14 members want answers to, and hopefully we can clear up some topics for you. Back to you, Bill.
Hey, thanks, Tom. All right, next up, we go to Dana Chambliss. Hey, Dana.
Thanks, Phil. Hi, everyone. I'm Dana Chambliss. I'm currently the president of Branch 4 in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm running on the CLC slate for National Business Agent for Region 8, which covers Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, and Alabama. I'm a second-generation letter carrier. Both my parents are retired from the Postal Service. I began my career in 1996 as a part-time flexible employee in Westwego, Louisiana, where I joined Branch 3861. I became secretary shortly after getting hired, treasurer, informal, formal A, vice president, up to president. I carried mail for 15 years in Westwego. Then I transferred in 2011 to Mandeville, Louisiana, and joined Branch 6377 and held the position of treasurer and vice president. In 2013, I moved to Nashville, Tennessee, where I held positions of sergeant at arms, treasurer, vice president, and I've been the president since 2022. And I'm in my second term right now. This is the largest branch in Region 8. I'm the first female president that Branch 4 has had. I've been involved in coordinating food drives, hosting events for muscular dystrophy throughout my career. I've served as informal, formal A representative, route inspection facilitator. I've been the lead person for the Louisiana City Rule Disputes and a REAP team member for CD-RAP. I'm a DRT certified and a graduate of Leadership Academy in 2012. I've also completed various trainings throughout my career to include Advanced Formal A and Beyond, OWCP, and National Branch Officer Training, just to name a few. So I would love to represent you in Region 8 as your national business agent. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Dana. All right, next up out of Region 15, Orlando Gonzalez.
Hey, Bill. Thanks everybody for getting on, for listening in. My name is Orlando Gonzalez. I am the CLC candidate for NBA in Region 15. I have held various positions with the union, but the most important ones over the last 16 years. I served as an RAA for Region 15. It's one of the things that I hold dearly because of all the opportunities I got to come up with trainings and assist branches. You know, we led the food drive and MDA and a lot of other things that we do behind the scenes in the regional office that you don't always hear about. Obviously, I won't go into too much detail here because you don't have that much time. I don't want to be here for a few hours boring everybody. But it's something that I enjoy doing, and I can't wait to go back as NBA. I think that I am ready to start on day one, and anybody who knows me in the region knows who I am, knows about me, they know my work, and I'm looking forward to serving in that capacity. For me, on a personal level, I did serve as an RAA. I worked in the office for 16 years. I was an RAA for 14 up until December, where I had conversations with James Henry about him maybe putting my name in as NBA candidate, and I saw that we aligned. You know, the CLC it's an organization where win or lose, I cannot be more proud of the people that are with me and that are here, just coming out for you guys. These are really, really good people, and I can't wait to serve with them. I once I announced, and I'm sure everybody heard already, but in December, they terminated my position as an RA, or terminated me from the position of RA without a conversation or anything after 16 years. So I went back to rack and file to deliver mail because I'm not going to be a victim here. So I guess they try to end me, you know, but that's not going to happen. You know, as a letter carrier, you know, especially everybody that I'm looking at here, they give me the strength to move forward because they understand the movement just like I do. This is a great thing that we're doing, and we're going to come forward with it no matter what. And I went back to the field, and I was delivering mail up until yesterday. Yesterday was my official last day. I retired yesterday, and it feels pretty good because now I'm going to have time to do this. And I'm looking forward to it. I have a lot to share still, and I'm looking forward to doing just that. So again, I feel blessed for the opportunity, and thank you, James, and everybody in the CLC, and all you guys for being part of this. This is a big deal. We are on the right side of history, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right, thanks, and congratulations on your retirement there.
Congratulations, Orlando.
Thank you.
All right, so next up we have Debbie Dixon.
Oh, All right, this is Debbie Dixon. I am running for Region 2 NBA on the CLC slate. That covers Alaska, Idaho, Montana, Utah, Oregon, and Washington. Very large area. Um, I've been a letter carrier since 1987 and started in upstate New York, Youngstown, a little colonial town, went to Spokane, Washington, and landed in Olympia, Washington. And I am currently a letter carrier in Lacey, at the Lacey Post Office. My union positions that I've held in the past with Branch 351 Olympia, um, started out with trustee and editor, went to secretary, treasurer, vice president, president, and then I went on and moved up to the state association and became a trustee, a state trainer, which I found I loved tremendously, training people. And then I became the Washington State Director of Education for several years. And while I was doing that, I was always a shop steward, chief shop steward. And also, I was the first Seattle, um, Seattle, Washington District Safety Committee co-chair for the NALC. Um, we also had district route adjustment teams that I was consistently on. And yep, went to Leadership Academy. Um, then became RAA in 2015. I think that's the same year as Alan. I think we'll find out. And then just as Orlando, I got terminated in December, but I am back on the workroom floor. Happy to be doing so and looking forward to this roundtable. Thanks.
All right. Well, thanks, Debbie. All right. My man out of Michigan, Walter McGregory. Hey, Walt.
Hey, Brother Bill, thanks so much. As Brother Bill stated, my name is Walter McGregory. I am the CLC candidate running for NBA on the CLC slate for Region 6. That consists of Kentucky, Indiana, and Michigan. We call it the Kim region. I'm the branch president of Branch 2184, Southeast Michigan. I've been a letter carrier as of this upcoming July 15th. It'll be 26 years. I started as a contract enforcer back in Wayne, Michigan, um, directly right after my 90-day probationary period. And since then, I've held various positions within my branch, everything from alternate steward. I've been the sergeant at arms. I've been the vice president, the executive vice president. Currently, I am the president. Got so much training behind me. I am a Leadership Academy graduate, class 9. We were called ourselves the Unicorns. Graduated back in 2010. Currently a arbitration advocate, and I really enjoy doing that. As your next MBA, I guarantee you, whether you come from a branch size of 25 or a branch size of 2,500, like our biggest branch in the Kim region, Branch 1, you'll be treated equally and equitably. And so I look forward to working with this great group of people in the CLC. And back to you, Bill.
Hey, thanks, Walt. All right. Next up, Alan Rios. Hey, Alan, how are you, buddy?
Good, Bill. Thanks for having me here, and I'm really happy to be on with you guys. And so my name is Alan Rios. I'm currently the National Business Agent for Region 1. But going back, I started as a letter carrier in 1996 as an NTE. So for those that don't know, that's a 90-day term employee. I didn't think I was going to last, but hey, I'm here. So I made it. But through the years, I saw my brothers and sisters get harassed. So needless to say, I wanted to be that voice for the carriers. And then I became a shop steward. In 2009, I was an area shop steward. I was involved with multiple route inspections. Anything under the sun they gave me, I tackled it. arbitration advocacy in 2012, dispute resolution team as well in 2012. I was held the dispute resolution team position for about 3 years before I became an RAA. Leadership graduate, class 16. So yes, I was class 16. I've been an RAA for 11 years, and it's been quite an experience working at the NBA's office. Now I get to be the NBA, so that's really exciting. I'm hitting the ground running and tackling whatever issues are thrown my way. So I'm really happy to be here with you guys. And yep, that's all I got for you.
Alan, we're happy to have you, my friend. We're definitely happy to have you on board, and congratulations on all your path to where it got you to where you are.
Thank you.
All right. Well, myself, I'm Bill Kriebel. It'll probably show up as a William, parenthesis, Bill Kriebel. I'm the president of Branch 254, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, merged. Been a carrier for about 11 years. I've been a union official for 10 of them. I started off as a shop steward, worked my way up to vice president, and now I'm a two-term president. I'm advanced OWCP trained. I am formal A and beyond trained, which Alan Rios was actually one of the people that trained me. And I'm running for business agent in Region 12. So it's time to start the roundtable. A lot of people know who I am out there, so you've heard me before. So I want to get to the questions and let's move our roundtable forward. So let's start off with our first topic, the role of the national business agent. Tom, what should the NBA actually prioritize?
Besides education and training, the NBA should prioritize the health and safety of our members. Our workroom floors are a mess and need to be addressed. Mental health issues are very strong now. It's all across the whole United States in every branch. Besides that, they also need to connect the region. We are up here in Boston area. You could have a B team render a decision and a B team down in Connecticut with the same issue statement. It comes out with two different results. Connectivity is the most important thing to connect the region and relay all the information from Washington, D.C. headquarters to all the members. They all should be visible on the workroom floor. That's about it.
All right. So, Dana, is the NBA primarily an administrator, an advocate, an educator, or a strategist?
I would say you'd have to be all of the above. As an MBA, you want to wear all those hats. I mean, your most important priority to me is your members. And just like Tom said, the safety, the educating, everything, but it has to be across the board. You can't pick and choose what members you want to advocate for or educate for. I know there's a lot of issues in many regions where smaller branches don't get the same treatment as larger branches do. And that's one thing, I guess, where I'm a little bit different because I've come from a small branch when I started my career, and now I'm the largest branch in the same region. So I believe that you have to have all those things. You have to be an administrator, an advocate, an educator for everybody as an MBA.
I do agree. The smaller branches do seem to always be neglected when it comes down to that stuff for the education and stuff. So I agree 100% with you on that. Brother Walt, you got something you'd like to add?
Yes, time and time again, Brother Bill and the rest of the CLC NBA candidates, the most of the calls that I receive are from within my region, are from branch presidents and branch members that are from smaller branches that say that they are left out, they don't get the proper assistance, and it shouldn't be like that. Every letter carrier throughout the country should feel like he or she, if they don't have the resources for training right there within their local union, they should be able to get that from their MBA office or get assistance. And it should not matter if you're from a relatively small branch or if you're from the largest branch. We all should be treated equal. And it's enough of that. With CLC, this slate that we have right now, every brother and sister will be treated equally across the country, no matter if you're in region 1, if you're in region 15, or the other regions in between 1 and 15. You're going to be treated equally.
All right. So, Orlando, should the NBA's office become more accessible to the rank and file carriers?
Oh, absolutely, and without a doubt. I recently, when I decided to join the CLC team, one of the things that James always says is one of the best abilities is dependability. I want to add availability to that as well. Me being from Region 15 and the experience that I have in the office, we do have 30,000 members, and sometimes it feels like, oh, 30,000, but calling at the office at the same time. And a lot of them felt like they weren't being heard, especially from the smaller branches like we just covered. One of the ways to combat that, which I'm going to continue, is the first Sunday open forum Zoom meetings for our members, where anybody can join. CCAs all across the board. I'm going to keep that going because I believe that an MBA should absolutely put their members first and not make anyone feel like they're not important enough to be heard or followed up with, or I want a personal relationship with everybody.
All right. Debbie, how involved do you think that the NBA should be with the branch level disputes?
I think the NBA should always be involved, but I think it's going to be on a case by case basis as to what is really happening within that branch. If obviously, if branch president's doing right by our Constitution, by their bylaws, and it's simply that somebody doesn't like that, well, then you're not going to get too involved because they're following what the Constitution says or what their bylaws say. I think we would just guide them, not dictate to them how to run their branch. In the example that I just gave, there'd be a flip side. You'd also talk not to the branch president if the bylaws are being followed, but if the member doesn't think the bylaw is accurate or correct or could be better, teach them how those bylaws could be changed. And then again, that's up to the members. But there might be other situations where we do directly get involved because something is not being done constitutionally, and I think that is a disservice to all the members on the workroom floor if an NBA doesn't get involved in that type of situation.
Well,
There
you
you
had
go.
something
That's
like that?
my answer.
That's a good answer, Debbie. Well,
Yes, thank you so much, Brother Bill. Hey, I agree with everything Sister Debbie had to say. And just keep in mind that at the local level of every union within NALC, every branch that is, the membership for that local branch, they elected those branch officers. So the NBA should be involved just to pretty much oversee if in fact the branch needs assistance, because in a lot of instances a lot of the branches are doing what they're supposed to do, and in a lot of instances they never even need the NBA's assistance unless it's some advanced training or something like that. So we want to encourage our members to always go through your local officers first. All right, those are your elected officials locally, and only if you have a issue or something that the local parties can't resolve or address, give us a call at the NBA's office. We'd be more than happy to assist you.
exactly. Follow your chain of command. All right, Alan, what separates a good MBA from the weak MBA?
That's a really good question. Well, I think, in my opinion, just being available to members, just having your door open, and no question is too insignificant, to answer. That's how I'm gonna operate. That's how I'm operating right now. I'll answer phones. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna be available for the letter carriers. That's for sure. An NBA that provides training, because the most important thing, we're overseeing the grievance arbitration process, right? So we want to make sure everybody's doing the best job they can putting the files together. You know that, Bill, when I was facilitating at advanced formal A and beyond, it's important what gets produced at the informal A level all the way up to arbitration so we can have a good case. The last thing you want to have is a bad case, especially if you have somebody that's waiting for their case to be adjudicated. And some instances it's on removal. So, yeah, so being there for your carriers, having your door open, providing solid training for a good outcome for their grievances. I think that's what makes a good MBA from a weak one.
Excellent. Alan, I want to give you some kudos on your rap session. It was very well done. The training that you guys had was second to none. I was so impressed with how you had everything outlined for everybody in that binder. And that to me is important because when you go to these trainings, that to me is a good MBA. That to me is somebody that's trying to get the people out instead of not having anything for them, and then you can't get the websites to come on your phones or wherever your computers. You had it right there for them. So man, hats off to you on a good job there.
I appreciate that.
Walt,
Yes.
should members know who their MBA is and how to contact them?
Oh, yes, most definitely. It's very, very important that members know who their MBA is. So, as a MBA, it's our jobs to get out there and not be sitting up in the office. Get out there on the workroom floor. Now, some regions are bigger than others. Like our brother Allen, he has the biggest region. So, I don't know in a 4-year term if Allen will be able to make all of his offices, but he should attempt. He has quite a few RAAs. He should attempt to try to get in the majority of them. But yes, at some point in time, you should make it your business to be out there in every state. And if you can, make it to every office so that your members know who you are. And if you can't physically get there, there should also be some type of WebEx, some Zoom to just make introduce yourself and make yourself known to the people that you work for, because that's the key right there. The NBA works for the members within his or her region. They don't work for him or her.
All right. Tom, you had something you wanted to add?
Yeah, it's time for all of us to MBAs to sort of grow up in a way and start using today's technology. With these phones, phone apps, computers, we should be available 24/7, 365 days a year. In Boston, we designed our own Branch 34 private app. And when I become Region 14's MBA, we will have our own private app. So every member has access to me and I can answer them in a click and right from my phone, no matter where I am. If I'm at the movies, at a hockey game, I can return. You can get in contact with us immediately. And we should be using more advanced technology.
Walt?
Brother Bill, see, this is what I'm talking about when I said earlier about great group of guys and gals on this CLC ticket. This is the first that I'm hearing of this technology, and we appreciate Brother Tom sharing that here on this NBA roundtable talk. And so let me be the first to say, Brother Tom, please share that technology with us over here in Region 6 because I plan on utilizing it as well.
There you
Sure
go.
thing.
There you go. So, Debbie.
Yeah, I was looking at how we could reach the people on the workroom floor because being back on the workroom floor, there's some people that don't even understand what an NBA is. They don't understand the level, branch, state, regional, national. So I think that we should take the opportunity to make ourselves known, give them business cards in like a welcome packet to every carrier. And then those who are already there, we should be showing up at their branches. We should be showing up outside of the post office, handing out these little packets, introducing ourselves, you know. Um, I think there is a huge gap from the NBA's office to the workroom floor. and that's definitely needing a fix. And Tom, I did hear you mention that before. You're going to have to show all of us how you work that private app, buddy.
Well, you have to be approved by me. So I'm the,
Oh,
I'm the
well, there
administrator.
goes that.
If anyone wants to check it, well, I'll send you the link.
This is going to
Okay.
cost money. I feel it's going to cost a lot of money.
Actually, would you like to know how much it costs us a month?
Yeah, how
Please.
much, Tom?
Yes.
It's $50.
No, that's not bad.
Ooh.
But
Whoa.
the
That's not
setup
bad.
is about
Nice.
100. But it's pretty interesting. It
Okay.
does a lot.
If it works, man. That's the best
It
part
does.
of it. You know,
All our union meetings are on there. We have a big con hall coming up. It has push notifications, got red buttons, so you hit on it, tells you what's coming up in branch 34.
all right.
Wow.
Sweet.
Dana, you had something to add?
I do. I was going to say that it's nice to be on a slate with MBAs who would want to work together and not feel like it's a competition from one region to another. Because I know that you reach out to some regions for help and then MBAs get all upset about it. So it's nice to be able to say, I'm not too proud to say, oh, hey, Tom, can you send that to me if that's going to benefit your members? That's what it's supposed to be like. And that's what a union's supposed to be.
One of the things I was looking at as far as reaching the rank and file is a Zoom meeting that's just strictly for the rank and file. And you would do something like that maybe once a quarter. Obviously, you're going to have a lot of people come on it, so you would have to figure out a way that we could handle the questions that come in. But I think it would be a good idea. I mean, obviously, with the system, we have the technology to do something like that. I wouldn't want to do it every month though, but I would think something to implement something like that once a quarter where you could touch base with them, because if there's a challenge on the workroom floor, that tells me that the stewards probably aren't doing their gig. And if there's a challenge with the stewards, that tells me that the president's not educating the stewards. So I think there's, with the technology and like how we all just discussed, I think that that's something that my personal self would like to implement as that's going forward, because Debbie, that would get you in touch with everybody. I agree 100%. You need to be in stations. You need to walk around. Everybody should have their business cards. I agree 100%. Debbie?
Yeah, and I think we've talked about it before on our Wednesday night meetings where I would like to have different Zoom meetings with different groups of people, just with branch presidents, just with Carrier Academy facilitators, just with OJIs, because they have a different mentality. They have a goal in a certain job, and that's what could be talked about. So yes, what you just mentioned, Bill, something very specified to only those who do not have, rank and file on the floor, carrying mail every day, not your branch president, so they can speak freely.
Exactly.
You want them to speak freely, to say president to stewards not doing what they think they should be doing and getting their situations taken care of. Yeah.
Orlando, you had something to add?
Yeah, just quickly. Since I've been doing these every first Sunday of the month as an open forum, people have been kind enough to shoot me the questions via email, and I get right back to them. Some do ask questions while we're there, but when this starts growing, yes, we definitely have to put something up to make sure that we get back to everybody, because that's the most important thing to me. If somebody asks a question, they deserve the respect to get that back. So, I'll find a way to streamline it, and if I do, I will share. And Tom, add me to the list.
Chuck it.
So, Debbie?
Just to wrap up with the role of the NBA, I took the time to look into the Constitution and see what it says about our role. And it is extremely broad. It says our duties are organizing, contract administration and interpretation, and the processing of grievances and unfair labor practices. Our functions are to assist in the organization, campaigns, gather evidence for legal proceedings, assisting in prep for grievances and arbitration hearings. So, it does sound more like on the administrative and grievance portion, but I think those things, just the word organizing, expands that job to really no end.
All right.
So just wanted to put that out there.
So this is something for all of us. So how would each one of us define success within the business agent? Like, how are we measuring that? To myself, I would think that everybody being educated, representation, we're winning in arbitration, we're winning in step B. Like, to me, that's measuring success in my world, that we show results. What do you guys think?
Oh, it's the health of the employee. Are the employees happy? Are the employees want to go to work? Are the employees proud to be a union letter carrier? We got to get that back.
Yep.
All right. All right, Orlando.
Yeah, I just want to add that when carriers and rank and file feel comfortable, they cooperate and they become part of the process. So for me to measure success, I think that would be it. When you ask for volunteers, you get them immediately because they know not only what they're doing, but why they're doing it, and we're going to show you how to do it. So I think that connection comes from that personal thing that we talked about, where they have to feel, have a safe space and know that when they come to you, they're going to get treated with dignity and respect.
Well,
How you measure success as the MBA, I believe, is when you've put out the educational piece and within your region, you start to see the grievance volume at step B in arbitration go down. Because I think that's an indicator that the management counterparts, they're doing what they're supposed to do as it relates to the contract, and our stewards on the rank and file steward on the workroom floor, they're getting the message across, the terms of the contract, and management is adhering to it. So as a result, you're not seeing as many case files go up to step B in arbitration. I think that is a great tool in measuring success within your region as the MBA.
Alan, you're an MBA. How do you measure success?
Well, letter carriers should be able to, work in a safe environment with mutual respect. There's a lot of offices that don't have that, and that if an MBA would be successful if they can provide, help when they need it, in these offices that are hostile with hostile managers. I've dealt with, as a shop steward, I dealt with the hostile office, and it's not. Carriers want to feel safe, and also swift adjudication of grievances. I
Yes.
mean, the turnaround time to get these grievances settled, that's what carriers want. That's what our rank and file wants. And not to mention, we got carriers that are waiting for their notice of removals to be heard.
Right.
So I get calls, all the time. Hey, what's the status of my case? I've been waiting for 3 months, 4 months. And it's sad to say, we got a whole lot of discipline. NOR is waiting to be scheduled in arbitration. But I've made it a mission to get these cases met on, with a pre-arbitration meeting. And I've been successful getting some of these, even if it's 2, 3, 4 a month, cutting the time down. Instead of them waiting a whole year for their case to be heard, I can cut it down and then they can get back to work. So yeah, that's what I think about that.
Excellent.
Good.
All right. So let's move on to our second topic here. We're going to talk about the step B delays and arbitration backlog, since it's a perfect segue from what Walt and Alan just laid out for us. We're kind of going to go over the cases sitting unresolved for months. We'll talk a little bit about inconsistent decisions between the regions. We'll talk a little bit about stewards lacking support, delayed justice, weakening contract enforcement, and burnout among advocates and representatives. So, Dana, do you think that the backup Step B team should be activated nationally?
Absolutely. They, just like Alan was saying, I mean, they shouldn't have to wait years for a decision, especially on discipline cases. That's crazy. and you have a lot of teams like, a lot of areas like New Orleans who their cases are so far behind. I talked to their president. He's like, I'm waiting years, and these are people with removals. That's crazy. What are these
Right.
people supposed to do? Absolutely, we should have the backup teams every time it gets a little backlog. They should be out there.
All right. So, Tom, how do you think we reduce the arbitration backlog?
First thing you do is hire more arbitrators. Our union is very wealthy. Very simple answer. And also, let's start training more people to be arbitration advocates. It is very rewarding to sit in the hearing room and argue a case. So it'd be easy to do that. We put more expedited arbitrators on the panel. And if you have to spread them all around the country, and like Danny just said, down in New Orleans, and let's start clearing this stuff up.
Mm.
All right. Well,
Yeah, as Brother Tom just stated, we got plenty of brothers and sisters who are ready, who are eager to get that advanced training for step B, for an arbitration advocate, because they want to help out. And too many times, especially in my region, it's unfortunate if you're not kissing the ring, you're not going to get that training. And with CLC and the group of people we have on our slate, it doesn't matter whether you like us, you voted for us or not. If you're willing, you're educated, and you've had the training at the lower level and you're ready for some advanced training, and you've shown through your work ethic, you'll get the opportunity to have that advanced training, period, point blank. I got countless people, not only in my branch, but within my region. I hear that more and more again. If Why won't they choose me? I would love to be an advocate. And it's really unfortunate. It comes down to not just in my region. I'm quite sure you'll probably hear from other NBA candidates. Unless you're in the in crowd or you're kissing that ring, you're not going to get that training. And that is so unacceptable, because it does not help the membership. All right. We work for the membership, period, point blank.
all right. Dana, you had something?
I was going to say, I agree with Walt. You have, like in my region, there's so much talent that's underutilized. Why aren't you picking these people, training them, letting them go out there and do what they can do for us, for the members? You look at my region, you have Corey Walton. Why wasn't he being utilized? That's for the members. Just because there's issues, you need to go back to what's best for the members. You need to put all the other stuff aside and do what you have to do for the members.
Alan, do you think that the Step B representatives are receiving enough training?
Uh, well, that depends on the region. If we feel like we've done this before in our region, is bring the Step Bs in for some training just in case. So we could be all in one accord. I mean, we want to make sure we're making the same exact decisions across the board at Step B. Of course, they're supposed to be contractually sound, and if we see that they need some training, we'll bring them in for some training. So yeah, I believe that they should be trained regularly.
All right. Tom?
Yeah, we should do like they're doing now for the arbitration advocates, where you do some continuing education training, bring everyone down for 3 or 4 days at a time per region, and just sharpen up everyone's skill, give them that extra training. Also, it gives us a chance to get all the B teams together and try to figure out what the problems are, and maybe we can correct it as a group.
Communication. Walt?
Yeah, brother Tom just hit the nail on the head. Just as they do with us with as arbitration advocates. Within the last month, I went to my third ACE training, arbitration continuing education, and you get all these advocates from across the country together, networking, talking about what's working, what's not working. How this arbitration advocate is, or how this arbitration arbitrator is, and you need stuff like that at the step B level as well. So yeah, most definitely, Brother Bill, we do need to have consistent training for our step B representatives, refresher training, so that we can have consistent decisions across the country versus, if you send it in region 15, a case about overtime, you'll get this type of decision. But if it's in region 1, you get the opposite. It should not be like that. It should all be the same if it's the same issue statement.
All right. Debbie, are regions sharing successful arbitration decisions effectively? Do you feel like everybody's sharing a piece of the pie, letting them know how they beat stuff?
Within the regions, I don't know across the United States, but I know when I was RAA and oversaw the Step B teams, we would scan in all of their decisions and I would email them because we had Seattle DRT and Portland DRT, and we would exchange. They would see each other's decisions. Um, and Jason Drost is one of the Step B members. He's a backup member in Portland. He suggested that to me long ago, and I thought that was great. And they all like that, so they could be kind of on the same page. So, do I think they're doing that and successfully sharing across the United States? No, because I never heard from the Step B team members that they were getting information like that consistently from across the United States. I think I would have known about it had they been getting that. So there's no reason why that can't be shared, and it should be shared. So
All right. Well, hey, always remember, justice delayed becomes contract enforcement denied. So let's move on. We'll move on to our next topic, which is topic number 3. We're going to discuss education, letter carrier, and steward training, communication, and transparency. So, what do you guys feel about the development of the training in the union at this time? Go ahead, Tom.
We seem to be training and teaching how to file grievance cookie cutter. We're not doing enough emphasis on winning the cases. That's one way I really love about Corey Walton. When he gives a training session, his whole design is to win the case. His contentions are more spot on. It isn't, let's request an RFI for all this information and then not teach the stewards or the area stewards what to do with that information. We need to step it up a notch and teach them, when you request the RFI, what each document means and how to develop a contention to win the case.
So, Orlando, you had something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add briefly that what we also got to understand is that we also have to change a little bit the way things, well, the way we do things. I believe that we should start offering goal-oriented training, not just training. In other words, we have to put training together along with the 8190s, along with how to, speak to management and get the yes for an answer. I put together a training about 2 years ago, and it's called the people who took my class are called the GAS Club, and what GAS stands for is carriers that give a shit. And I'm sorry to speak that way, but that's what I heard from the workflow, that nobody gave a shit. So we actually have 178 that took that course and still reach out to me. And those 178 people are the ones that I'm going to be pushing. So because they understand what the goal-oriented training would be, not only to grieve the process, but to correct it. We have to understand that we're not only coming after the work floor, we're coming after the organization as a whole. Everybody has to get better. And all that's going to start by us fixing our house before we try to fix somebody else's house. And I'm looking forward to that. And again, I have 178 people that would attest of how good this works. And with goal-oriented trainings, I provided the 8190s. I even provided a script of what they should say and when they should say it and how to prepare, to deal with management. Because again, far too many times we train people and then just send them out into the wilderness or into the woods. without an idea. So I believe we have to go from soup to nuts. I'm talking about from the beginning when you take the training, lock arms with them until everything is rectified.
Walt?
Yeah, I agree with everything that Tom, Orlando, and Debbie has said, and Dana thus far. One of the key things that
Ellen, you don't agree with Ellen?
yeah, well, Alan hadn't
Just
spoke on this
kidding.
right now. He hadn't spoke on this right now. All right, I agree with all you guys and gals. But one of the key things that I see is missing with training now is called effective negotiations. All right. And what does that mean? Well, what that means is I had to learn it myself. As a young steward, within my first 2 years of contract enforcement, I was gun ho. I'm learning all this information, but I did not have effective negotiation skills when I sat down in front of my informal A and my formal A management counterparts. I would go in there and I would tell them, this is what the contract said. You violated, you're stupid, and you need to resolve it. And they would look at me like I was crazy, and I didn't understand why they wouldn't resolve with me, and it would end up at step B, and I would get decisions back favorable. But it took me almost 2.5, 3 years to understand I didn't have effective negotiation skills. You don't have to like the person across from you, but respect the position. And when I learned that, I started getting more things resolved, which ultimately favored the membership because they didn't have to wait on resolutions, especially if it was discipline. So that's one of the things that I see missing, and it's not taught by NALC at large. Effective negotiations. All right. And what really helps brothers and sisters learn this is when they see mock informals, mock formal meetings, formal A meetings. And that is missing. And as MBA, I'll teach and assist branch leadership within Region 6 with that key aspect.
See, I always believe that there needs to be more than just a rap session. In my region, we operate with one rap session, and it's a once a year training that goes on for a couple of days. We all have them. There has to be more than that because for one, in my region, it's all the way in Atlantic City. So the people that are all the way on the western side of Pennsylvania, that's a good like a 7 hour hike for them. There has to be more training, especially Alan in your region. You travel. I mean, you got Guam, Hawaii,
Wow.
California. You're all over the place.
Yes, he is.
Same with
Yep.
Debbie. Like, there's got to be a way to get that training to these people. Like, what do you guys think about creating the teams to do this training? Go ahead, Debbie.
Well, within Region 2, we actually have a shop steward college. So it's a 4-year track and it's informal the first year, formal A the second year. And we give them cases, mock cases to argue, and they do have to meet, and they do have to be a management person in one of those mock cases. And, while they like to come to the table and pretend like they're texting on their phone and not even paying attention to you, that we see that all the time, because that is what management will do. But they need to come up with arguments on the management side. So they need to think like management. And hate to say it, but if you're going to be a very good shop steward, you do need to think like management. You need to think, where are they going to be coming from?
Yes.
So year 3 and 4 used to be train the trainer. And then 4 was arbitration advocacy. And we'd have mock grievance or arbitrations at that. So I want to put it back to what it was. It's been changed a little bit. The train the trainer part I thought was very important in year 3 because you can teach people as much as you could teach them. But if they can't talk in front of people and present the knowledge that they were given and speak about it on the workroom floor, if they're afraid to do that, you got to train them to train others. So it's a good program.
All right, sounds good. So, what role do you guys think that should the RGAs play in all this? Anybody? Orlando?
Yeah, I believe that the RGA is a very, very important position. I believe it's also being underutilized, at least from the RGAs that I've spoken to. It seems like the RGAs are being used to go out to assist branches, but again, from what I've seen, they're bringing fish to the branches instead of teaching the branches how to fish. And in a region the size of mine, where it's over 30,000, I believe that the RGA should have a task force underneath him that can operate in each district and have a team that can go out for educational purposes. I mean, I think that we should not ever limit any training to just shop stewards or presidents. I think it should be open to everyone. What they do with it, they do with it, but we should offer it to everyone with the same goal. I mean, you don't know where you're going to find your next shop steward. You don't know where you're going to find your next rep. And I believe that by sharing exactly what we do and how we're going to do it, we're going to get not only more volunteers, but you're going to get the morale improved because they're actually going to feel like somebody cares. And I think that the RGA is going to play the important role in leading the task force, understanding that education is key. And again, I'm a big safety committee person, and definitely the safety committee should be run from the regional office by the RGAs as well.
Tom, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, one of the things I'm hoping I can try to do here in Region 14 is put the equivalent of an RGA in every state and have that person travel around just individually to that state and educate and train, just like Orlando said, to piggyback on him. Don't bring the fish, teach them how to fish.
Dana.
I think that's a huge thing because it's a financial burden on a lot of these smaller branches and they don't get the education that they need. And then they sending up cases, and then the next thing you hear is, they're losing their cases and they're looking for help and reaching out to everybody. And like you said, bring it to them. Don't let them have to use their money or utilize their money to travel when we can have people go to those offices with those branches and help them out.
Alan, how do you utilize your RGAs?
Well, our RGA cannot be in more than one place at one time, and there's our region's pretty big, so sometimes I need them to be in two places at the same time. But what I do is I do have people on standby that I can trust to send in the office and get whatever needs to get done. So I'll utilize that. So I think it's important to have a group of people ready to deploy at any given moment, not just rely on the RGA because, like I said, I only got one, so it can only do so much.
Wow, only one out in Region 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll change all that, huh?
I think you need more.
Yeah, I think you might need a couple more. I would
Yeah.
assume Debbie would need a bunch of them too. She's spread out far too. Well,
Yeah, Region 2 only has two RGAs, but you can't have the problem is that they're not being utilized the way that Fred designed them to be in 2019. So Fred created those positions. He designed them to make sure that letter carriers are represented in the grievance procedures. So how are you going to do that if you're sitting in the office? How are you going to do that if you're filing grievances for 4 or 5 places? No, you should be teaching those 4 or 5 places how to file grievances. And then obviously follow up with them, help them as time goes on, but then you move on to the next place and get small offices to get somebody trained. And that means your butt's out of that chair and traveling to these branches.
well,
Yeah, as Brother Allen was saying, that RGA, he or she, they're probably going to be spread pretty thin, especially depending on the size of your region. So you're going to need folk available outside of that RGA that are talented enough to assist and go around your region to help where that RGA may not be able to be in multiple places at one time. And one of the things that I plan on doing as the next Region 6 MBA is having, a contract administrative unit within the region to assist the RGA with going around and training. I got one of those in my own branch, and it works great. My contract administrative unit has a chairperson and like 4-member team, and they assist the EVP and the VP with training for the stewards, and it's working phenomenal. And I plan on doing that as well with the MBA position and assisting our RGA within the region.
All right. So we kind of tackled out how the training and the education is going to kind of roll out. Before we roll on, does anybody have any last comments on the education? Seemed like we pretty much hammered on everything that there could be there. So we'll just move on to topic 4: management, accountability, harassment, safety, and workplace culture. So, wow, there's a lot to go on here. So let's start out with should repeat violators face stronger remedies? Do you guys think?
Yes.
Yes, around the board.
Plain and simple. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, most definitely.
So, how do we enforce settlements more effectively?
The Department of Labor, and if the Department of Labor won't do it, go to court. The teams that just filed a restraining order against UPS from a bio violation, and they actually prevailed. Courts will step in. We have an enforceable contract, just like, someone on a creditor, you have a contract to pay your debit card, your credit card bill. It's the same thing.
So
But
in
the
your
DOL,
eyes,
we
Tom,
should utilize more.
so in your eyes, Tom, then the Department of Labor that helps enforce settlements then. So like
Right.
if you have those complaints going on there, that helps, right?
Yeah, and they could fine the Postal Service per day, per week, per month, and it starts adding up. They're going to pay it then.
Well,
Yeah, Brother Bill and everyone, the tool that we have, and I agree with what Brother Tom is saying, if we have to go there, but the tool that we have right here is actually the grievance, and if we document it correctly with the management offenders, and there's plenty of them across the country, there are cases, arbitration cases, that is, where we have successfully gotten management officials put out of their installations for up to 2 years. So it's all about educating the contract enforcers at the lower level, the stewards, the branch presidents, putting and documenting the case file correctly to where once it gets to arbitration, you've gotten enough evidence in there and you have all the correct documents so that when you get to arbitration and you call, it may be 20 different carriers from over a 30-year period, showing how abusive this one postmaster is. That may be what it needs to take to get that arbitrator to rule in the union's favor to remove that postmaster from ever supervising there or being a management rep for up to 2 years. So it's all about education and documenting that case file correctly, so then when we get to arbitration, we're more susceptible of getting a favorable decision.
Tom?
Yeah, we also have to educate the arbitrators that we need remedies to enforce the contract. And if they don't realize that, then we're not going to get anywhere. And I'm seeing it too much up here in the Region 14. When an arbitrator gives a good remedy, a good settlement, they're removed off the panel.
Right.
There should be something that stops that from happening. I'm not sure what the answer is, but I know there's a lot of smart people on this podcast tonight, so I hopefully will figure something out on that.
Debbie?
I think that we need a change of national leadership to be able to help us at the regional level on the workroom floor to be able to enforce these things, because we do have a damn contract that is supposed to enforce. But when that's not happening and we don't have that top leadership down people's throats to say, what the hell, that's a problem. So if they're not going to back us up to enforce these rules, we got to change that leadership.
I agree 100%. I always feel that management, they're never held accountable for anything that they do. So like an example, if they're disciplining a carrier because they have earbuds in, and then you turn around and they got earbuds in, I mean, how are they being held accountable for the same standards as us, right? So do you guys feel that they're being held accountable?
They are not. We're
Not at
going,
all.
Not at all.
not at all. We're going through a problem up here. We have delayed mail all over the place, and I got 6 people that just received letter of warnings for delaying mail.
Right. Make that make sense.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Debbie?
Oh, there we go. Sorry. I think one of our issues, one thing that we can change, because we can't sit back and say it's somebody else's fault. We got to take a look at what we can change. We can change our issue statements and grievances. When issue statements simply say, did management violate blah, 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 we're not holding that individual management person accountable. Say their name, say it directly. Yes, you are going to have to do interviews and find out, was that the fault of the closing supervisor, the opening supervisor? Whose fault was that? And say their name. Because then we are keeping track of repeated situations, repeated violations. But one thing that we can change and make better about accountability on management is how we do our issue statements.
Well,
As Sister Debbie, she just hit the nail right on the head. With these issue statements, instead of just saying, did management violate, like Sister Debbie said, say their name. Did management, through their agent, Postmaster Kriebel, violate XYZ? Say their
Ew.
name.
yeah, way to tie me in there, Walt. That's it. I'm muting your mic for the rest of the show.
Bye bye, Walt.
Dana, you had something?
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know who brought it up, and I don't know if it was on our Wednesday night talks or whatever, about a database to keep track of these supervisors and postmasters, and that way it can go across the regions. So they move every day, they hiding them here, putting them over there. That way, at least we have a way to keep track of them, and we know where they came from and what they're about when they get to our region or into certain branches. So I think that's
Yes.
a really good idea to keep track of them.
All right. Orlando.
Yeah, I just want to add to Sister Debbie's comments. When we started doing that, naming names, it changed the game completely. I know that I mentioned that I have 178 gas club members, and that's one of the things that we talked about and came up in that class, and they started utilizing. And it does have an immediate effect. So anybody who's listening to this, give it a shot. Give it a shot, and you will see the difference when you start naming names. Because now what happens is not only accountability on them personally, but when they lose, whoever hired them, whoever their higher up is the one that's gonna have to take control of their issue. Because when you name names, then it becomes their boss's problem and their boss's problem, because why are you violating? And once they start seeing their names, you're going to be surprised how much feedback you're going to get. Where if you ask a question, who asked you to do this, or did you do this? Once you start naming their names, they're going to tell you who's telling them to do what behind the scenes. And that's really, really important. So again, give it a real shot. Anybody who's listening to this that files grievances, name names, and it'll change the game for you.
Alan, what's your stance on this?
Yeah, I really believe in that, putting the names. Is very effective, because it could be just a minor incident like M391154 but then they do it again, and they do it again. And these repeat offenders, they're going to get a joint statement on violence on them. And then when you name the name, then you can hold upper management accountable, like they knew about it. So you hold them accountable. And I know James Henry always says, drag the net, get everybody involved, you know? So yeah, I think it's very important on that.
Debbie?
And just to follow through, because everybody's, not everybody, but many people have been taught, just say, did management, you follow through in your remedy. The remedy isn't management will cease and desist violations of article blah, blah, blah. It will be that individual management person will cease and desist.
All right. So now let's dive in a little bit now with the workplace intimidation, the harassment on the workroom floor, carrier robberies and assaults, which is out of control, heat-related illnesses, which is going to be out of control, safety committees and lacking effectiveness. So how do we rebuild the safety committees? Lando.
Yeah, if I could just take this one, this is something that's not only serious to us, but it's something that I've been working on for a couple of years. But having safety committees is mandatory. You know, it's not a choice on whether or not management should have a committee. It's their job to initiate and maintain the committees. That's a lot of power for us, you know, as craft. We are the largest craft, obviously, in the organization. But what I like about this safety committee uh, uh, program is that we get all crafts involved. So it's pretty much everyone speaking their point and having their seat at the table, so to speak. I love the safety committees because it puts complete control on the work floor and our craft. And I'm willing to share with everyone what I've been working on the last 2 years. But where we initiated the Joint Safety and Health Committees, it made such a huge difference. When I was a steward, just to give you an example, when we started our safety committee, I didn't have to file a grievance for 2.5 years. So it has an impact not only on morale because the carriers are involved and they feel heard, but they also learn a lot. You know, through safety committees, they learn how to initiate a 552 or JSOV, like Alan was just talking about. But there's other things like ergonomics, like staffing, stuff that's in the JWIP that you can initiate and put under the umbrella of safety. So when it comes to safety, I'm big on it because I believe that through the safety committees, more than 90% of the problems will go away in your station. And again, we're the ones that are involved. When I say we, I'm talking about the members. And I believe that the more they learn how powerful this is, and again, it's not a choice, you will get involved just because, you know, whether you have time to be a shop steward or not, or you can't get involved in that capacity, when it comes to work floor issues, you're going to be there every day. So it's very easy to get members at the station level. Everybody, every place that I've gone to, you know, I look for 10, 15 members, and it winds up I get 100% from all crafts. Everybody wants to be involved once they hear what they can do and they're going to be listened to. So anybody listening to this, if you just want to take a look at the guidelines, I call it 12 pages of freedom is what I call it. And that's the 809, the EL 809. Take a look at it. And again, if anybody needs more information on this, Richie has the information as well. He's a gas club member as well. So you know the house has everything that they have that they need to pass it on. But you know, again, I think that the safety committees are the answer to about 90% of the problems. And again, once they start talking, the grievance levels go down, and this is everywhere. This is proven already. And again, I'm looking forward to sharing that on day one. When I become NBA, that's going to be one of my priorities as soon as I walk into that office because the members deserve it.
Well,
For the brothers and sisters out there, as it relates to letter carriers and robberies, just remember this while you're out there on your routes or routes, as Brother Tom says. Um, on a serious note, if it doesn't feel right, you're out there and you see, a car, a vehicle on a block, and they're going up and down the block, and it's just your guts rubbing you the wrong way. It's something that feels off. You can stop in the middle of that delivery and make a beeline back to your postal vehicle and go back to the station or go to the police station. Always follow your gut. Nine out of 10 times is going to always lead you right. Your safety is paramount. You got to always keep your head on the swivel while you're out there delivering mail, and just be on the lookout, because it's not like 10, 20, 30 years ago. Once upon a time, the mailman, mail ladies, nobody ever bothered them. You were protected because you were a federal worker, and nobody dared to even think about bothering them. So while you're out there on your routes, please make sure you're just always aware of your surroundings. And if it doesn't feel right, we'll deal with management if they give you crap. All right. You ain't got that to worry about. When they want to know why you come back, you felt unsafe out there. Go ahead,
How
man.
about the harassment? Like, what do you guys think? Because obviously we see management inside the stations, how they harass certain individuals. They'll ride them hard. How, and a lot of them don't report this. Some of these people will just come in here and they'll just take the abuse and they don't say nothing about anything. Like, how do we get them to build that trust to actually filing these grievances against management?
We need to design a grievance to get these managers out quickly. I don't say I've had the pleasure of getting two removed, but the work it took to get them out was astronomical. They
Right.
should have been shot and 50% up what I had to go to get them to move on. Somewhere along the line, National has to develop a interpret step for something that says when it gets to that level, the parties need to separate. The supervisor goes, moves, and you can correct the threat and the harassment. And we got to use that JSOV more. Harassing people to make numbers has to stop. Has to stop.
Yeah, I agree, Tom. At some point, like in the world of the post office, it just seems like, all right, we get these people and the management in trouble. They just move them to another station where it just repeats over. It's like the circle, like they just roll right around. Next thing you know, they're back at your station again.
Yep.
So yeah, Debbie.
Being back on the workroom floor and just having an interaction on the workroom floor with the manager the other day, I think we need to inform the carriers, train the carriers, give the carriers the knowledge that they don't need to put up with this shit every day. They need to know what the rules are, because the knowledge in that will give them the ability to speak up on behalf of themselves and on behalf of others. So I just had the manager say something to me about getting to work when I was asking a question about a ripped scan, and I was working. So I bit back and said, "Do not be talking to me about my work performance across the workroom floor. What are you doing?" And she came right over. She says, "There's an Article 15."
Debbie actually unmuted yourself. There you go. Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry about that. But anyways, she, went on, and I told her, "No, you're not going to be doing this across the workroom floor." And then we ended up having a talk about it. And it seemed to be very educational for her. But I think that is a key thing about stopping these behaviors of management on the workroom floor, where we contribute to a respectful place by the knowledge and the training that we give people.
I think that a lot of the supervisors that we have now, and I know we discussed this on Wednesday nights, that a lot of them are coming out of the academies and going up right into the 204B program. They don't even know what the post office even is, let alone they don't know how to be a clerk. They don't know how to be a carrier. They don't know no part of this craft, and they're going right in there. And let's not forget about the hiring process and how we're hiring carriers now, because every one of us are sitting here right now. I'm sure we had to go through multiple tests to get in this place, where that's gone. Like, they don't even drug test people anymore. We're just taking people, whoever wants to come in. So now they're becoming the supervisors, and now that person's now screaming at us on the workroom floor. So Dana, How important is that HR 1065 to protect our letter carriers act? How do you see that right now? That to me, that seems like that's something that's pretty hot right now.
I think it's very important. I mean, letter carriers out there every day, serving their customers, and they have to worry about looking over their shoulders. And, before it was such a well, what you want to say, a job that people respected you. They didn't mess with you. They didn't come around you. You were their person. And it's not like that anymore. The world is so different, and we have to adjust to what it is now. So this is something that hopefully would at least deter some of it. I don't think it'll ever deter all of it, but it's something that we need, because our letter carriers should not have to worry about going to work and be harassed or robbed or anything else, or even worse than that.
No. Tom, you had something you wanted to add?
Yeah, every member should be asking ourselves, why the hell hasn't that passed?
Right.
We have a president that can speak phenomenally in front of Congress. And we have a pack that should be,
Sorry.
I don't want to say, but paying for this. Should already been done and passed. There's some congressmen and women in Massachusetts don't support it. Floors me to no end. I just don't understand it.
Again, that gets to the people because I think that's pretty close. I mean, as far as the people on board with it, again, you need to get the bipartians together and get them to come together for this, because it does. I don't feel that penalty's harsh enough for people to come out there and rob us on the street, because back in the day, you couldn't mess with us.
No.
So, Walt?
Yeah, like Brother Tom was saying, it's so important that we educate our members so that they know that it's going to take them. Not everyone likes politics, but our jobs are political. So we need each other. We need each and every one of us as letter carriers to contact our congressional leadership and encourage them to co-sponsor and also support letter carrier issues. This 1065, if your congressional leadership is not in favor of it, you should be calling more times than not to encourage them to do so. They do get those phone calls. So your family members, all right, encourage them to call their congressional leadership. All right, it's going to take each and every one of us. But as everyone has stated thus far before me, letter carriers should not go to work in fear, worried about getting robbed, or as Sister Dana said, something even worse, when they're going to work just to make a living for their family. It should not be like that. Bill.
No, and I agree. All right, let's move on. Topic number 5: all career workforce and wage equity. So we have the table 1 versus the table 2 divide. You have the CCA retention problems. You have the unequal colas, and the time to get to the pay, up to the top pay scale. And I could say, out of everybody that I'm looking at right now, I'm probably the only person that's not at the top step. I am the only table 2 person that I see staring in front of us, and I seem to be the only one that does not get a full cola. So I'm kind of at the shit end of the stick on this. We are on Corey's show, so look, we've been pretty good with the cuss words on this thing. But we always got to give the love, because the Hot House is hosting this. So we got to give thanks to Richie for letting us do this on his platform. So anyhow.
Thanks, Richie.
Thanks, Richie.
So is an all career model now necessary?
Absolutely. There's no reason for 2 tables. A 2-tier pay system breaks unions. It starts pitting the union carrier against the union carrier. We're all doing the same work. But unfortunately, history will tell you that to get rid of it is a bitch. And it takes years to get rid of it. But you got to start at the beginning to do it. So hopefully we can get it done.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
Brother
go
Bill.
ahead, Walt.
I just want to add something to that. Yeah, there's no way, Brother Bill, you're doing the same job that we're doing as letter carriers. you should not be getting the same colas that we're getting. And as Brother Tom just stated, it just caused so much division on the workroom floor. You hear that time and time again on social media with letter carriers across the country about I'm table two versus table one. And, it's just been divisive ever since we got that. And it's time for it to come to an end.
So should the CCA time count towards their retirement?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we're going to have to get
Abso-fucking-lutely.
we're going to have to get legislation passed for that, though. That's something that we cannot negotiate with our management counterpart. That's all legislative.
It's crucial, especially if you got some of these people, because a lot of the new CCAs that are coming in, or the CCAs coming in are older. Like there are people that are starting their careers in the post office in their 40s,
Right.
and those years are crucial towards them, towards a retirement. I mean, obviously, you don't want to be here 85 dragging mail around the streets. So it is very important. And if your house people aren't on board with it, then you need to go scout them out. Like when we go to the lobbies in DC, and you'll see who's on board with it. Hey, it's a simple conversation. I'm doing the same work as the guy that's there doing it. It's the same people doing the same thing. Should there be a probationary period? Yeah, I agree there should be a probationary period with the CCAs. But once they get through that, we should be rocking and rolling. Everybody should be coming out of the academy as PTFs or all career model at this point. We were able to do that when we were going through COVID because we couldn't retain them. So they were making certain cities were becoming PTFs. And a prime example is I'm in the same building as Allentown. So I'm on one side, Allentown's on the other side. Their people come out of the academy as PTFs. My people come out as CCAs. So if we could do that for them, we should be able to do that for everybody.
That's the same in Boston, where I have AOs that have CCAs, but all Boston is PTFs.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're literally on the border. On the next city over, you're a CCA, and the next city over, you're a PTF.
Brother Tom, is it safe to say that when you got the PTFs, you got more retention in that office versus the office with the CCAs?
Oh, yeah, you do. A lot. They stay a lot longer. Everything starts, their career starts right away. When we all started, it was a career job.
Yes.
It wasn't just a stepping stone to move to something else.
Do you guys think that the newer carriers are losing faith in the union?
Yes.
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 Absolutely.
How do we fix that?
Train them the union way. Understand why unions were developed and designed. 8 hours of work. We should be getting a salary that you can pay your rent. If you buy a new car, kids through college, electric bill. 8 hours of recreation. Go out, play softball, golf, drink heavily, whatever people do, and 8 hours of sleep.
That's what it should
That was
be.
that you, Bill.
That's not me, my man. I don't
That
have
was that
time
you,
for all
pal.
that.
But Brother Tom's right, though. Brother Tom's right. Unions are so important. Unions are the backbone of this country, and we got to get back to that. And it starts with the leadership, respectfully, in NALC. We got to have fight. We have to have leadership that is constantly thinking about that rank and file carrier on the workroom floor. Period, point blank. And that it's James Henry, Corey Walton, and the CLC slate. Period, point blank.
Well said, Walt. Well said.
Good job, Walt.
Absolutely.
The other thing that we should touch base on a little bit is the colas, because we seem to be the only craft that does not get that full cola. Like the mail handlers get it, the management gets it, the clerks get it. Like, why do you think that it separates like that? Because obviously Step P is the only people getting that full cola in our pay scale.
Because we allowed it in negotiations.
Yeah, and who thought it was right? That's going to change. I just don't understand why someone thought that was right, but
Goes back to what I just said, NALC current leadership.
Yep.
Period.
Maybe it's the same person who thinks 4-day work weeks are right.
Dumbass.
It's crazy. Alan, what's your take on that?
Yeah, it's unequal. That's what it is, and people don't want to be unequal. We're a union, so it's not good.
What do you guys think the fastest to get to the top should be?
The
Ballpark.
this,
For the-
the union standard across the country is between 7 and 8 years. That's exactly where we should be. Just 12, 13.
Yeah,
That's,
I
that's
agree
almost
with
half a
that.
career.
Yeah, I
Agreed.
agree. No more than 8 years.
No more than 8.
Yeah, and back in the
Way too long.
70s, it was 8 years.
Yeah.
So why have we gone backwards? It doesn't make any sense. So at least we should be back at 8 years, if not less. Because isn't UPS or FedEx, it only takes 4 years for them.
Yep, 5 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, folks, that was most of our roundtable. I think what we'll do is we'll go around the room here. We'll have some closing comments, and then we'll throw this back over to Corey. Tom, we'll start out with you.
All right, thanks. This was a lot of fun. I hope all of us have answered the members' questions out there on some very important topics. As relating to my campaign, it goes by one word, the word time. It is time that this union started acting like a 300,000 member strong union. It is time that we change direction. Our benefits are decreasing and they're becoming more expensive. Something is seriously wrong. Members, you're not getting your money's worth. It's time that we be treated with dignity and respect on the workroom floor and to be treated like union workers that we are. I just touched base on the union way. I won't repeat myself, but it's time to get back to the union formula, which is 8 plus 8 plus 8. It also is time for one career workforce, no two tables. But most importantly, and I'll finish this with this, it is time to bring the pride back in being a union-led carrier. We have lost that and we got to gain it back. James Henry and Corey Walton have built a team of fighters, a team of leaders who spend every day training and educating letter carriers. They don't just come out and say they're going to educate and train during political season. I am seeing that more and more. Members realize that's a politician. If you want a labor rep, then you vote for the CLC because we train 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Everyone out there, please back us and let's all take this movement together, guys. And thanks, Bill, for hosting this. You did a great job.
Thanks, Tom.
Can I
Dana.
just turn around and
Oh, go
end
ahead.
mine and say ditto on what Tom just said? That's it.
I was thinking the same thing.
You got
but-
ditto two over here.
Okay,
Ditto two.
ditto one and ditto two.
Ditto.
Okay, love it.
All right, Dana, you're up.
I just want to say, thank everybody for listening to us. And, I'm like a lot of people out there. I'm disappointed in my union. I'm going on 30 years and I never thought I'd kind of be embarrassed sometime to say I was a member. Because at one point, if you say NALC, you heard it was the strongest union in the post office. And now some of us are hiding our face and we need to get out of that. We need to get back to being strong. And especially for my region, we need change. I think everybody in my region can see that. And I'm committed to fight. And I think that's what we're missing. We're missing the fight. I think people are complacent in their positions and they kind of sleeping sometimes. And we need to get up and fight and get it back to the members and not from the top bottom, but from the bottom top. So like I said, like Tom said, I should say, the CLC, that's why I joined this slate, because I want to be with people who are going to fight with me, not against me. I think we all need to go in the right direction, and that's the same direction, not like we are now. So when the time comes to vote the CLC slate, and I'd appreciate Region 8's votes. Thanks.
All right, Dana. Orlando.
Yes, sir. Again, I just want to thank everybody for getting on, and to Bill and Richie, thank you for putting this together. For us, as the MBA group, I'm glad that we did this because everybody can get to see exactly what we do every Wednesday, and again, full transparency. This is what we do every Wednesday. We bounce ideas off of each other, and we just keep ourselves focused on what the job is going to be. As far as for the membership, I can't wait till we get in because I want you guys to see the difference immediately. I got some adult news for you. If you're in a union and its leadership is bad, it's because of you. And if you want it to get better, it's going to be because of you as well. So understand that you need to educate yourself on what's going on. This is going to be a very, very important election year. Make sure that whoever you vote for has your best interest at heart, and you're doing it for the right reason, and you're doing your research. I spoke briefly about how I feel about everybody on this and everybody on the CLC, but do that research. Do that research. Find out what we're talking about. Ask the questions, even on this right here. If you heard something that you didn't or if you want to hear something that you didn't hear on this podcast, you know how to reach me. I know I think everybody in my region has my number. Including just CCA's members. Everybody has my number. Just give me a call and we'll bring it up. I'll bring it up at the next NBA roundtable so you can see that we actually are listening. We're actually doing something for you. And again, give us the opportunity to continue doing this because you're going to see the difference on day one. This is an amazing group of people, like you already heard. And I wish you could be on with us every Wednesday as well so you can see how we joke around and get along so great. But you'll be able to see that when we get into office because the change is going to be immediate. And I can't be more proud of this group and just being part of it. So thank you to everyone. And I'm looking forward to all of it.
All right. Thanks, Orlando. Debbie.
Again, ditto on Tom, ditto on Dana, ditto on Orlando. You guys made it easy. We are honestly together, and it's been wonderful because it's like-minded people. So for anybody who doesn't understand the slate, obviously it's always been a slate, and maybe before it was called Renfro Barner. We could name ours Henry Walton. But we came up with CLC. I'm glad you guys did. And I am happy to be on that slate with like-minded people. And honestly, yes, it's about pay. It's about a career position. What we want to bring back, the sense of pride, like Tom was saying, our pay is just ridiculous. We need major changes. And those major changes are going to come with people who have not been in higher up positions for the last 3 years, the last 4 years, the last 8 years. They haven't got the job done. So, change is scary to some people, but staying where we're at and watching this union go downhill, that's scarier. And we need to be the force for change. So I do invite anyone, just as Orlando said, you got more questions, bring them forth. Talk to Richie Ray, talk to Corey, talk to Bill. They all have podcasts. Get your voice out there as somebody who has these questions. And if we come back on and we do another roundtable or just one of us, Walter, by himself, depending what region, we're here to answer those questions. So I am looking forward to being a part of those changes in Region 2. I have loved representing Region 2 letter carriers for 10 years, 9 months, 13 days. And I want to represent them again. And it will be an everyday representation, not a push of representation for a re-election or for a certain purpose. It will be an everyday action that I have for those letter carriers. So thank you all, Richie, Bill, for doing what you're doing, and all you guys on it and making the time to do it on a Saturday evening. So I appreciate all of you. You guys take care. That's my wrap up.
All right, Debbie. My man Walt,
All right. Thanks, Brother Bill. And as everyone else has stated, you did a phenomenal job this evening. Brothers and sisters, you have a group of candidates in CLC from James Henry Corey Walton all the way to the NBA candidates, Allen in Region 1 to Orlando all the way in Region 15 as far as a candidate. A great group of people. We got so much talent, and all we ask for is you to continue to support us, vote for each and every CLC candidate. If you give us the opportunity over the next 4 years, we'll show you that we not only will fight for you, we fight with you side by side. And leadership is key. Leadership is key to everything. That is one thing that I, on behalf of every CLC candidate, can guarantee you that each and every one of us will fight for you and with you. We will not be a rubber stamp on the executive council. All right. We will hold each other responsible. All right. For our jobs. What one of us may lack in, we got plenty of assistance on our team. All right. We're not going to be that, oh, Region 6 is the best over Region 1 or over Region 12. No, all 15 regions is going to be the best because we're on under one NALC accord. A vote for CLC is a vote for the right direction. Give us that opportunity, brothers and sisters, to continue to show you what we can do for you and with you. Thank you so much for your time, and God bless you all.
All right, thank you, Walt. Alan.
All right. First and foremost, thank you, Bill and Richie, for having me on the show. It's my first time, and great group of people. I'm excited to hear all different perspectives, and but I do want to say this: I'm honored to be the national business agent right now for Region 1, and I want to continue being such. And like the people that know me, I've been an RA for 11 years now, and I'm hitting the ground running. And for those that know me, they know I work hard and I'm there all the time. So I just want to thank everybody. And James Henry was my mentor, coming up, and a great group of people here. So thank you for having me, and I'm excited hitting the ground running, and let's do it.
All right, Alan. All right, I guess we're down to me. So I'm going to go over a little bit and then I'll close us out. So the biggest things with me when I look at this, because I go back to how this meeting started on Wednesday nights with Richie Ray and I just sitting down going over our stuff and just to see how we blossomed into this group of people. The brotherhood and the sisterhood is of the solidarity of this group is unbelievable. And it's like every one of us just went through and said that you're not just getting one region, you're getting 15 regions. So like every one of us are on the same page. That's what these Wednesday night meetings brought. And like we said before, there was times when Richie and I would sit there and say, yo, maybe we ought to hit record tonight and educate. And every one of us here, you heard us go through it. Every one of us want to educate. Look, folks, it's simple. It's about open communication. It's about having integrity, being transparent with everything you do. We need to educate on all levels within the union. We need to look at the structure, discipline, hold people accountable, set high standards for everybody, including us. Nobody's perfect in this. OWCP has to be a major improvement on us. That is something that we definitely have to make sure that all members of the union, every brother and sister understands what that do once they get injured. We lack at that. I mean, I think that there's good people out there educating, but that needs to be emphasized a little bit more because people have no clue once they're laying on the street hurt. The political aspect, like Tom was speaking earlier, we need to be more political with community engagement. And that's what this group brings with us. So we went over the roles of the business agent. We went over the step B, delays and arbitrational backlog. We took it over to the education of the letter carriers and the stewards with our ideas of how we can bring a stronger communication together for that. We went over to management's accountability for the harassment, the safety, and the workplace cultures. And we also just went over the all-career workforce. What you heard tonight is a strong team of leaders. We're not followers, we're leaders. And we want to make everybody out there leaders. We're not looking for people to follow us around because, look, we're all old heads, man. We're going to need people to step up and take over this union once we can't do it no more. So we're relying on you, the rank and file, the people listening to this program, to be able to grab the bull by the horns and go. Get involved. Be a part of your union. So, Corey, I'm going to throw this back over to you. And hopefully we didn't ramble on too long. I think it was a good conversation. So Corey, we'd like to thank you. I would like to thank Richie Ray in the Hot House, because the Hot House is Richie Ray and Richie Ray loves you. So everybody out there, Corey, back to you.